Hey everybody, it's Sharmel. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by and don't forget to subscribe while you're here. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I turn my knotless box braids into Fulani braids. I did a tutorial for these knotless box braids, and so I'll link that down below if you guys want to check that out. But I've had the braids installed for about 2 weeks now. It's definitely not time for them to come out, but y'all know me, y'all know I like to change my hair. And whenever I wear box braids, like, I have a hard time dealing with any type of frizziness, especially because I know how to do my hair. So like when I see any sign of frizz, I either need to touch it up or take them out. It's not bad, but you can definitely see that my edges are starting to get a little fuzzy. My roots are starting to grow out some. So originally I was going to just redo my hairline, but I was like, maybe I should switch it up a little bit. So I'm basically doing feed-in cornrows on the top half of my head, and then in the back, I am not going to touch those at all. I'm just going to leave them be. So if you are thinking about redoing your hair or touching up your braids, depending on how long they've been in, I definitely would recommend to wash or cleanse your hair first. I've only had mine installed again for 2 weeks, so I don't find it really necessary to wash them or cleanse my scalp or anything, just because I've been in the house because we're on quarantine. So I haven't been out in public, I haven't really been out in the elements, so I'm not going to be washing these. But again, if you do like to wash your box braids and you are considering doing this, wash your hair first or cleanse your scalp. Okay, so the way that I did this, I used my parts that I already have as a guide. So I had a total of 12 rows from ear to ear, and so I broke it into 3 sections. So I have my one section here of 4 rows of braids. I have a middle section. I started on my middle section, but this was a row of braids. These 2 braids right here, that was 1 row of braids. So I had 4 rows of braids in the middle, and then I had a section of 4 rows of braids over here. So the design that I'm doing, the sides are kind of going back at a diagonal. So the side braids are going back at a diagonal.
Bruh.
I can't say diagonal. What is it? So the side braids are going back in a diagonal design, whereas the center braids, I'm going to have them go straight back. For this top half, it's not going to be parted like precisely from ear to ear. It's kind of staggered because when I did my original install, I didn't have a straight line going across. So this is going to be staggered a little bit, so but that's okay. Section, and I'm just going to try to mirror it to this side. So what I did was I took out this corner braid from the first row, and then I took out the first braid from the second row. Don't judge me, y'all. I am reusing this hair. I'm reusing it because, again, these braids haven't been in for a long time, and I probably, honestly, knowing me, I probably will keep these in for another 2 weeks. So it'll be about a month total that I'll have this hair in, and I just did not want to waste fresh hair just to redo this section. But if your hair has been in longer than like 2 weeks, I definitely recommend using fresh hair like this. So definitely keep your pieces organized as you're taking them out. I'm just gonna comb out any potential hair that's shed, and I'm gonna part my first braid. I'm going to be using the same edge control that I used in my previous video, which is the Plan Stay 48 Hour Black Castor and Flaxseed Oil edge control. You want to make sure that when you do these braids that they end up being the same size as the individual braids. My individual braids, I use 3 pieces. So here are 3 pieces now that I have from one braid. So for each braid, I'm gonna be using essentially the same amount of hair, but I'm gonna break them into smaller pieces. So I split each piece in half to get 2 smaller pieces. I'm just gonna start by braiding my natural hair. And I'm gonna feed in the hair.
And for these cornrows, I follow the same method that I used for my individual braids. So every 2 turns, I insert a piece of hair. So the easiest way to do it is as you're braiding 1, 2, and then you know it's time to add in another piece of hair.
So yeah, then after I get it braided in, I'm just going to braid my hair down, and then I'm going to feed in another wavy piece at the end.
And I'm just going to follow those same steps. So I'm going to take the braids out one at a time as I part my hair. And in my opinion, this just keeps it organized as you're braiding and working through everything. If you're doing a more complicated design, then you'll definitely probably have to take out more braids at a time. But this is just the way that I'm doing it. And again, I'm going to try my best to just make it identical to the other side. It wasn't like completely identical, but it was very close. And yeah. So I finally made my way to the top middle section in which those braids are going to go straight back. And so I'm going to start by pulling out 1 row of braids, and then I'm going to put the other braids to the side. And so I'm going to take all of these braids out at one time because again, these braids are going straight back. I'm going to go in, comb through my hair, make sure it's detangled, all of that good stuff. And then so for each row, I turn it into 2 braids. So I'm just going to part that down the middle and split it in half, and then that'll be 2 braids. So I had a total of 8 braids down, going straight back in the middle of my head. And then I'm just going to follow the same process with feeding in the hair. Now for your middle braids, or depending on the density of your natural hair, my natural hair is thicker towards the top and the middle and the crown of my head, so I did not have to use as many, I didn't have to feed in as many pieces. So for the braids on the side, I did about 6 pieces, and then for the braids at the top, only did maybe 4 to 5 pieces, because your natural hair will naturally fill out those braids at the top or wherever your hair is thicker at. So this section I kind of had to just eyeball it and go based on how the size was coming out for these braids, and if I felt like the size was big enough, then I didn't add any more pieces. And so my camera ended up dying as I was working on this last section, so I switched to my iPhone. So I apologize for the odd angle that you guys are about to see me in. But right now I'm done, so I'm just slicking down my edges how I like them. And then I'm going to take some setting foam, and I'm just going to use that to set those braids in place, just to get rid of any flyaways, any fuzz, and it's just going to help the braids just kind of lay a lot nicer. And then I'm just going to tie my hair down, and that is pretty much it. I forgot to film an outro. As I'm editing, I'm like, I didn't have an outro, so I'm going to insert a couple of Instagram clips at the end. But yeah, this is the final look. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I definitely like the way that these braids came out. And yeah, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.